Yikes. I'm going to be reading from my thesis, my novel, a chapter called The Three Jameses. The only thing you really need to know is the two main characters are identical twins. The narrator, Aldo Lee, and his brother Vincent Lee. And Aldo has done something that's gotten a form of notoriety in school and has also attracted the attention of a wannabe gang. We didn't know who they were, of course. Didn't know the three of them were unrelated immigrants who, in order to fit in, shed their Vietnamese names, Jac, Tu, and Tui, for American names. And it was by pure coincidence they all chose James. We wouldn't know any of this, not until Jerome told us weeks later. The day we met the three Jameses, the only thing we knew for certain was that they were assholes. Vincent met them first, found them right outside of the main gate, waiting under the 10-foot metal statue of our beloved mascot, the balding Padre. Vincent could tell they were looking for a fight. He had nothing to go on but the intuition balled in his gut. He didn't know they were actually looking for me, but he didn't need to know. The fight was all he wanted, and fight recognized fight. Imagine his surprise when the sight of him spurred the three Jameses into motion, and they left the sandaled foot of the tall Padre and walked towards him. And they stopped in the middle of the street. They halted traffic, and one of the Jameses spoke to him, said, "Hey, you Aldo Lee?" This James's spiked hair stood longer than the length of his face below it. "Yo, you fucking deaf? Are you Aldo Lee?" Oh, what Vincent would have given to say yes. Yes, I am Aldo Lee. Because by the tone of that guy's voice, the answer yes would have led most quickly to a fight. Vincent could just about taste the violence, a wet electricity on the tip of his tongue that crept inwards to the back of his throat, pop rocks on snot. But as much as he wanted, he couldn't steal my name, because our names were walls, the only thing separating Vincent and I. And if we were to exchange those names willy-nilly, even if just for a little fun, we'd lose that one thing that kept us from being a single person. And this was what Vincent feared we were supposed to be. He had nightmares about this, he told me. In one dream, he found himself floating inside of our mother's womb, and two large hands emerged from the hole beneath him and took him and split him in half, creating me. And so he and I were actually just half people, faking we were whole. "No, I'm not Aldo Lee," he said to them. "Who the fuck are you?" Vincent didn't let the Jameses answer, however. He didn't care who they were or why they were looking for me. No thoughts flowed, only the emptiness of blind action flowed, and he charged at them, lowered his shoulder into the bald one's chest, and tackled him into the center island, into a bed of tulips. His initiative didn't last long, unfortunately. The two Jameses who remained standing vultured over my brother, and before he knew what was going on, they had him by the shoulders and stood him back up and tossed him against our 10-foot mascot. I was laid out of class because of detention, so the white gaggle of uniforms had fully encircled the center island by the time I walked out of the main gate. They chanted, "Fight, fight, fight," and because I couldn't yet see my brother or the three Jameses, it seemed as though the crowd engaged in a strange and spontaneous session of Padre worship. As I approached the circle, however, people noticed me, recognized me, and they made space for me. One of them even said, "I need to get in there, quick." I found my brother on the ground, the three Jameses swinging limbs, pecking at his cringing body. I took the closest one, the James with the tall hair, and pulled him down to the tulips. My hands were fisted and cocked, but bringing that fist down on a stranger's face was harder than I thought it would be. So in that hesitation, the two other Jameses shoved me off their friend. "You two twins or something?" one of them said. Then he swung and connected with my cheek, sent cold stars across my face, and in the fist's wake, I tasted metal but could not feel my tongue. He swung again, and this time, by some magical instinct, I knocked his fist away with a blocking arm. My brother came at that James from behind, but with some magical instinct of his own, that James ducked out of the way, and my brother's flailing fist careened past him, right into my eye. That was the hit that hurt the most, the one inflicted by my own brother. A splash of sunburst and a sudden floating disorientation. I looked for people, but all I saw were vibrant, moving colors. I swung blindly, spinning myself on my own momentum. Then I took a kick to the back of my leg. It brought me to my knees. Everything was miserable. Each kick to my body bled the fight right out of me. I wanted to go limp, to sink into the dirt, far down where their legs and fists could not reach me, and I wanted to close my eyes and just go to sleep. But then I looked past the Jameses and I saw my brother. His face was bloodied, his left eye bloodshot, his body too on the verge, but he was still standing. Despite all measurable beating, he refused to stay down. He took the bald James into a headlock, then, with all his weight, he leveraged him to the ground. So I stood up. Amidst the swinging feet against my chest, I stood up and shoved the James with all that standing hair, then pushed the third one, who had long hair tied back into a ponytail. Long-haired James stumbled backwards and tripped over my brother, who was on the ground on top of the bald one. Free suddenly from the fight, I joined Vincent. And the two of us, red and shaking with adrenaline, focused everything we had on the bald James, because how dare they come here and fuck with us? Because whatever it was my brother did, neither of us deserved this shit, so fuck them. Fuck them all. If we can't beat them, we'll beat at least one. And for the first time in my life, I punched someone that was not my brother. I brought my fist down and connected with the back of the bald James's head. His shining skull snapped down into the fresh dirt of the tulips, creating a crater in the moist soil. My brother made a noise with his mouth, and it took me a while to realize, hey, my brother's laughing. "Aldo, do it again," he shouted. So I did. I brought my fist down as hard as I could, and when I connected, the bald James's limbs went limp. The other two were on us, though our victory short-lived. Something hard hit the back of my head, sent me into the dirt, and my brother took a kick to his tailbone, which sent him rolling off the James sideways, holding his ass in pain. Things went blurry then. Red, and then black, and then red again. When the world settled, it was to noise, not light. My eyes were closed, but I could hear my name. They were chanting my name. They were all chanting my name. Thank you.